Welcome, Namaste. This practice is for lower body strengthening, and for this practice you'll need one yoga block, the brick style of block. Have that nearby, actually have it really close. We're going to come on down to our backs and get into that block right away. So lay on your mat with your knees bent and your feet on your mat. You're going to place that block between your thighs, so lengthwise, that's a perfect length for between your thighs. Place that in there. Lay back, and so long as you can maintain the natural curves of your spine, I want you to squeeze into that brick. We're getting right into lower body strength, and there's lots of different parts there right now. Thinking about working those inner thigh muscles. Maintain that contraction, but make sure you keep breathing freely throughout this, okay? Important to have strength everywhere, but in particular the lower body. That's going to help us through our activities of daily living. Good, maybe 2 more breaths here. Good, grab that brick and just for a moment, maybe do some windshield wipers, give yourself a little break, a little flush out. Not done that yet. Do a sequence, 3 different things here with that brick in the same position. So come back to center, place that brick again between those inner thighs. Okay. Without having to do too much, just lift, or not lifting your feet off too far off the mat, but just lift your feet off the mat. You're going to squeeze into that brick and release. Okay, take your time. Good, again, pay attention to the natural curves in your low back. If the back is overarching, maybe place those feet back down. That can cause discomfort. If you already have some back issues, you don't want to exacerbate the issue. Squeeze and release, slow and controlled. Good, relax, bring your feet back down if you want to take the brick out. Get another flush out. Same thing. This time though, they're going to be pulses. So placing that brick between your thighs again. And if it's okay for your low back, lift the feet off the mat. Doesn't have to be far. We're going to squeeze and release again, but these are a little quicker. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring the feet down. We'll do one more set of that. Now you know what we're doing. Make sure you didn't miss out on any of those reps. Bring it back up. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Take that look off to the side. Might revisit that a little later. Yes, we will. And then windshield wipe. Back to center. Hook line position. Preparing for a bridge. Feet are hip width distance apart. Knees stacked over the ankles. Arms alongside your body. Palms touching your back. That's going to help support your weight. We're going to move the spine, but also the arms. So as you inhale, lift the seat and spine up off the mat. Take the arms overhead. Exhale, reverse that. Arms come back down alongside you, laying the spine down. Lastly, your seat comes down. Okay, inhale to lift. And exhale, lower. Good, next time the arms are overhead, we're going to leave them there and keep that lift, if that's okay for you. If you want to keep lifting and lowering, that's all right. Keep your seat lifting, hips lifting, great backside builder. Feel your quads working as well, the thigh muscles. Keep your knees stacked over the ankles, keep breathing. You're doing so well. Good, exhale, upper back, middle back, low back, seat comes down. Let those knees fall out to side, wriggle the bottoms of your foot soles together. Stretch out those inner thighs now. Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle, reclining bound angle. Let those thighs relax before we move on to our seats. Couple more breaths. Good, you can bring your fingers to the outside edges of your legs, draw them together. Roll over to one side and push your way up to your seat. As promised, we're coming to our seat. Okay. Working through different planes, still concentrating on lower body strength. We're going to place that brick back between the thighs just like before. So your knees are bent, always your feet are on the mat. Hands go behind your fingers, point just towards your seat, I should say. Okay, and then you can stay here, or you can bring your hands in front of heart center. But I want you to squeeze into that brick. I know it doesn't weigh much, you don't have to do much to keep it there, but we are trying to build the strength. So squeeze those legs into the brick. Good job. Holding the contraction, but not holding your breath. Well done, grab that brick. Left shin in front of the right and fold forward. Let that go. Well done, come back up, place that brick where? Between the thighs again. Same position as before, all that, squeeze into the brick. Option this time to lift the feet. So Navasana or boat pose. Right, feet can stay down. Go back to the first one we did. Hands can stay behind you for balance if you need, or that more challenge. Hands in front of the heart center. Anjali Mudra. So good. Whoo. Good. Exhale, take that brick out, cross the right shin in front of the left, and fold forward. I'm using the brick there because I already had it in my hand, so why not? And you can use different heights for that, but if you don't want it, you want to bring your hands or your elbows to the mat, you could. Good. Come back up. All right, Baddha Konasana. Remember we did reclining bound angle, now we're on our seats. Bottoms of the feet kind of touch, but not yet. That brick, the narrowest width between your feet. Okay, hands will go behind your hips or your back. Sit up nice and tall, squeeze your feet into the brick. A lot of inner thighs today, you might feel this the next couple of days. Good. Inner thigh muscles are also one of the co-recruiters for our pelvic floor, so this is good for our pelvic floor health, strengthening. Good, relax, come back up. Place that brick the second height. So the most surface area will be facing up or touching your mat, either way you like to think about it. Feet into that brick, support yourself, hands behind the back. Squeeze and squeeze. Good. This is going to get more demanding as we're asking more opening in the hips while we're doing this contraction. So you can always go back to the previous one that we did if it ever just becomes just not for you today, right? Good, relax, sit up, place that brick the widest width between your feet. All right, last one here, push the feet in there, nice and tall. This may feel or look awkward. Good job though. Okay, relax, come on up, take the brick out. Bring the bottoms of your feet to touch and then do your bound angle. Maybe you want to fold a little, maybe you want to stay up tall. Let these inner thighs relax though. Well done. Sit back up, stretch those legs out in front. About hip width distance apart. Activate. Pull the toes back towards your face so your leg muscles are turned on. I'm going to start with my hands beside me to support myself. Dandasana, leg lifts, one at a time, alternating. So we'll lift up one leg, lift up the other leg. Good, you feel the quads, the hip flexors working here. And if you're feeling okay, you can bring your hands in front of the heart center again. If you need them for balance or support, keep them down, that's okay. Good. I'm going to do 1 million of these, so we're super strong. No. A few more. Simple, but maybe not easy. Good, last one there. And then you can just fold over those legs. Let it be sloppy, lazy, comfortable. Catching your breath. One more on our seat. It will be crab pose. Lots of these poses have different benefits, right? But let's think about the lower body when we get into this. Okay, bend up your knees, place your foot soles on the mat. Hands behind, fingers point towards your seat. When you're ready, Inhale, lift. That reverse tabletop position. And you'll feel that work in your arms too, nothing wrong with that. But do ground down through those feet and keep your seat lifting. Thinking about the lower half. Focusing on the lower half. Maybe if you focus on the lower half, you won't notice the work being done in your arms. So good. Exhale, bring that seat down, quiet pose. Arms can circle underneath your legs or around. Sit up, circle those legs around, and find, if you can, a long plank position. That is with the arms straight and the knees lifted off the mat. Okay, nice straight here. We're going to flow. Exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to that high plank or long plank. Good. Back to down dog. Release the knees down, push back, child's pose. Give yourself a little break, especially thinking about your wrists. Maybe even roll those out. We're going to do that flow again. Little flow. This time, our buddy that brick. We're going to place that between your thighs. Okay? And I'm going to look like a Pez dispenser with it. This direction. Squeeze into that brick while we flow through that plank and down dog. Squeeze into your brick, nice long line. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward to your plank. Good job. Try to crush that brick. Okay, once you're in plank again, drop your brick, hopefully it's not in your way, and bring your knees down. Push back, child's pose again, whatever that means for you in a rest, right? Child's pose isn't restful for everybody. You can sit up, whatever you need to do. And eventually, we're going to come up to kneeling. Pad your knees if you need to, roll up your mat or what have you. Legs your hip width distance apart. Okay, I'm going to untuck my toes, so the tops of my feet are on the mat. Arms reach forward. Exhale, lean back to the point where you feel your quad muscles turn on, and then come forward. Good. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, back. Up. Good. This is a nice warm up for Ustrasana or camel pose. We're not doing camel pose. We're just doing this to work the legs. Just this. Good job. Good. How about two more? You're rocking this. Good. And then come forward. We did a front plank. Now we're going to do a side plank. I'm going to turn this direction. I'm going to start on my right side. Keep my right hand on the mat, kind of middle of the mat, underneath the face. Extend the legs nice and long. Stacking the feet. Here's your first option. You can even lift that top arm. If you need to, your feet are a little bit wobbly, take that top foot out in front. I like you to start with trying with the leg straight. If it feels like too much, then modify or bring that bottom knee down. Keep lifting from underneath here, top hip lifting up to the ceiling. Push that floor away. Good job. Shaking is totally normal when we're doing planks. Muscles are working. 3 more breaths. Before we do the other side. 2 sides. Of course we gotta do this twice. How about a child's pose between sides? Carefully bring that other hand down, push back, whatever you like to do, or sit up. left side. I usually start that on the left side, finish on my right side because I'm right side dominant. But I didn't today. Okay, you know what to do. You place your hands somewhere in the middle of your mat. Extend those legs out, test the waters. One side might need something different than the other side, right? Go pretty good here. Maybe lift that arm. Lift up from the bottom. Well done. Reaching for the sky, maybe. Definitely breathing, maybe shaking, maybe sweating. Check in with your breath. Stretching out in 3, 2, 1. Carefully bring that hand back down. Tabletop position. We're going to do frog pose to stretch out those inner thighs. If you want to turn sideways on your mat so that your feet have padding, feel free. From tabletop, take the knees wider than the torso. Maybe turn your feet out. You can see that. Turn the feet out so that the inside edge of your feet comes to your mat. Not everybody's feet is going to go there. Okay. You can stay on your hands. You can come down to the elbows. If this isn't uncomfortable, it's good, kind of an intense stretch. The inner thighs are going. Go into, this is frog, and go into tadpole. Bring your big toes to touch. Push the seat back towards your heels. Also known as wide kneed child's pose. This one's so good. I love this stretch. It can be a lot for some people. Good. Come back up onto those hands. Turn the feet back under, knees underneath you, and then lower all the way to the abdomen. I think I will face this way. Onto the abdomen. We're going to set up in Sphinx pose, and then we're going to change that. So Sphinx pose, the elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Okay. We're going to do low Sphinx pose. I mean, the Sphinx, has been holding itself up for centuries. It's kind of tired, so let's get a little sloppy. So bring your elbows out. So low Sphinx. We're doing this because we're going to do some leg lifts, and I want you to take it out of the back, the low back. So low Sphinx, right there. Legs are nice and long still though. And then alternate a straight leg, lift it, put it down, and then the other one. You feel your hamstrings working, maybe your glutes. Turn it on, fire it up, that is always good. And there's such a thing as glute amnesia. You wake up those glutes. Can't forget about our backside. It's easy to do because you don't see it in the mirror and aren't building those muscles as often maybe. Super important, that posterior chain is strong. Good, last one there. Bring your elbows back underneath your shoulders, back to that regular Sphinx pose, if I can call it that. And then we do some hamstring curls. So alternate, bend one knee, place that foot down, the other one. Okay, once you get that, let's think about the feet a little bit here. As your leg comes up, the heel's leading. As the leg goes down, point the toes. So it's very active in all parts of the leg. I get that right now. Here we go. Couple more. And we'll finish with a nice quad stretch. Okay, roll onto one side. Bend up that top leg, and you can support yourself on your arm. Like, bend up that top leg, catch a hold, your ankle, your shin, your pant leg, your sock, whatever. Nice. Remember those kind of camel moves we were doing before? Where we work those quad muscles and the hip flexors. Let's give them a little love. Also those Dandasana leg lifts. We stretch it out. So we strengthen and we lengthen. Good. We're simply going to do the stretch on the other side. So if you have to roll away from your video, that's okay. You know what you're doing. I'm going to swing around and find your quad stretch on the second side. Quad and hip flexor. Nice, let that go. And we're gonna stand up. Any way that works for you. You come through table to down dog and walk those hands and feet together. We're gonna do some calf raises. We're gonna start with some calf raises. It does maybe require a little bit of balance if you need your fingertips onto the wall. That's all right. I think we'll rainbow this one. That means we're gonna do 3 different positions. So important that the first position is neutral. Have a look at your toes so they're all pointing forward. They're about hip width distance apart. We're going to bring the heels off the mat and bring them back down. Control on the way down. Don't just let them slam down. Okay, good. Five more. I'm actually counting. 3, ooh, 2, this is probably the last thing I needed today. 1, good, second position, I'm getting away from the window. Toes point out, heels are a little closer together, not to say that your heels are touching by any means, and let's bring those heels off and control it on the way down again. Five more. Whew, feeling that. Bring your toes in towards one another. Again, they don't have to touch. Heels are wider. This is the last position. This one may feel awkward because your hips are internally rotated. Again, if you need something for balance, don't be shy about that. Let's bring those heels up and put them down. Three more. Ooh. And 1. Ooh. Shake it out, walk around your mat a little bit, maybe. Ooh, got that. As you're walking around, walk away over to where your brick is. Let's get that brick back between where? Yeah, the inner thighs. Place that between the inner thighs. Again, I'm a human Pez dispenser, so it is that direction, if that makes sense to you. So, biggest surface area between my thighs. Make sure your toes are pointing forward. Squeeze into your brick. Hands onto your hips. Exhale, push that seat back. Good, chair pose. And you can bring your hands off your hips if you want to, but concentrating on squeezing those inner thighs into that brick. Crush that brick. Well done. And some bricks are a little heavier. I know I have some heavier ones, and maybe you're using a heavier one. You might feel this a little more than others. Some bricks are lighter, depending on what they're made out of. So good. All right, you can grab that brick, put it off to the side, stretch it up, shake it out. Chair pose again, hands on your hips or arms go forward. Right leg is going to step to the side, come back to center, and step back. Okay, just keep going through that, staying on the same side. Back and side. Good. Oh, how's that standing leg day? Feeling that in the glutes, quads, even a little bit pulling the hamstring. Good. Probably it's working other areas that we're not feeling also. I'm going to be nice and let you take a little shake out between sides and not hold it there. All right, when you're ready, Utkatasana. Okay. Utkatasana. Chair pose, awkward pose. Other leg is stepping to the side and then stepping back. Arms away from the body is going to make it more challenging. If you don't need that, bring them back to the hips. Oh, that standing leg's cranky. One more cycle. Side, back, and shake it out. Tree pose with a little twist, of course. Some more lower body strengthening. Again, if you need the wall, if you want to step off your mat, feel free. Hands onto your hips. Shift the weight foot to foot. Any of our standing poses are going to strengthen our lower body, right? Because we're holding our weight here. How do we make it more challenging? Come up onto one leg. So, you want to bring that foot to the side of the calf. Okay, first challenge here, single leg calf raises. Okay, heel up and down. We'll just do 8, 7, In theory I will. 4, 3, 2, 1. Settle back there, stay there. This bent knee, we're gonna take that leg to the back for 8, 7, in theory, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Pivot that leg forward, stretch it out, place it down. Good job, pedal it out. Permission to stay with your tree pose. If this feels like enough of a challenge for you, you are doing lower body strengthening. You can stay here. You get it? Okay. Maybe bring the heel up for 8. 3, good. 2, 1. I'm finishing with my better side, air quotes. Okay. That leg, lift it to the rear. 8, 5, good. 4, 3, 2, good job. Last 1. Hold it. Nail it. Bring that leg forward, stretch it out, place it down. As you're pedaling your feet out, take them a little wider, 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 wider. Turn your toes out, put 45-degree angle on both sets. Flip those arms out from the shoulders, flip the palms up towards your ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, drive those knees out, goddess pose. Sink down here, get strong. You come down a little lower. How's that today? Good. Permission to stay in goddess pose, or if it's okay for you, Malasana, yogi squat. You might have to bring your feet a little closer together and then drop the seat down. Hands in front of heart center, use those elbows, drive the knees out. A good stretch as well as strengthening. I'm feeling this, I'm loving this, I'm needing this. Lot being asked of you here. This is very challenging. The feet, the knees, the hips, I know. That's why you have that goddess option. All those calf raises, I want to make sure we stretch that out before we say our goodbyes. Bring your hands down and come into tabletop position. My favorite calf stretch. And stretch one leg out behind you, toes are curled under, push that heel away. You liking that? You needing that? You have no idea how much I need that one. Okay, switch to the other side. Make sure your toes are on your mat, right? And they're curled under, so not your toenails on the mat. Push your heel away. Notice if this calf is a little different. Maybe. Good. Relax out of that. Thank you for practicing that with me today. I wasn't sure how that was going. My legs were pretty burnt out. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you want to do that again, you can do that a couple times a week until we see each other again. Namaste.